Okay, I think I need to take a break from Assassin's Creed Shadows. And honestly, I don't say that lightly. I wanted to like this game, I really did. But I just don't know if I can. From the confusing story to the forced romances and the frustrating map traversal, I'm just not having fun anymore. And I feel like there's a lot of other games out there right now that I could be having fun playing. However, before I move on, I want to tell you guys why I'm moving on. TLDR version? It's boring. But it is a little bit deeper than that for me, so let's talk about it. Let's start with the map. Why is it so big? It doesn't need to be that big. That's what she said. Why does getting from point A to point B feel like such a full-time job? It feels like such a chore. Every location is so far apart, and even when you do unlock fast travel, it barely helps because of the next objective location and how far you have to run to get to the next synchronized point. I spend more time running through forests than actually playing the game. But it's not just the size. It's how empty it feels as well. Sure, it looks beautiful, but when the thing between me and my objective is 15 minutes of jogging, climbing, and dodging the occasional enemy patrol, it starts feeling more like a chore than a journey. Not to mention the side quests are so boring and so mundane and stupid. I just don't understand why they're in this game. Like, what is with these quick time meditation events? They're stupid, they're idiotic, they're not fun. I gave them a chance, but I just couldn't get into them, so I put that crap on auto, and now all of the quick time events are skipped, and honestly, I don't feel like I'm missing much. Sadly, most of the side content is like this. The problem with that, though, is most of the power you're going to get in this game and most of the fun you're going to get in this game is going to happen after you level up. And the only way you level up is by doing these boring, mundane tasks that seem to break immersion rather than pulling you into the game. Speaking of breaking immersion, then there's this story. Honestly, I'm kind of lost. Now, this could be because I'm playing it in Japanese rather than English, and I have said that on stream while playing. But the game just keeps throwing names, conflicts, and political drama at me, and I'm just over here trying to figure out who I'm supposed to take out, why I'm supposed to care. It's just confusing, and I don't know if that's because of the way I'm playing or the way it's written. I'm not entirely sure, but it's just confusing, and it's really hard to get into your game and care about your characters and their conflicts and their dramas if I don't even understand why the things are happening the way that they're happening or who I'm supposed to be helping or killing. It's just weird, and the way the game is written, it's written in a way that you could have not done something, but it's written as if you should or would have already done that. So it's confusing when you walk up to a situation and they're talking about something that you haven't done yet as if you've already done it, which makes the game even more confusing in my opinion. I don't like the way that there's not a core, linear, main storyline. If you want to do all the other convoluted paths and whatnot in the game, that's fine, but there should be a clear direction and a clear story being told, and that's just not here. Again, not a review. I'll go into more detail in another video when I finally finish the game, or I should say if I finally finish the game, because I don't know if I will, but I do plan on coming back to the game as of now. Honestly, I think the biggest issue I have with this game is getting around the map, traversing the map. It is so frustratingly annoying. Like, oh my god, I've spent more time trying to figure out how to get to an objective the fastest way possible so it doesn't take me 10 to 15 minutes to get to my target. It is so frustratingly annoying to have climbed up a mountain, ran through the trees, barely able to see anything, only to realize you've went the wrong way anyway because you can't climb this mountain. So you have to backtrack a bit and go all the way around the mountain anyway. It is very freaking annoying to get anywhere in this game. And as I said earlier, fast travel barely helps, but that's not even the worst part about fast traveling. To get to a synchronized point, it's usually in a freaking fort or castle anyway, and you could either try to sneak past all the enemies and eventually get to the synchronized point, or you take out the castle and liberate it from the enemies, loot everything, kill everyone, you know, all the normal typical stuff, and then as soon as the season changes, that fort is filled anyway. So when you do travel to your fast travel point, you may not even be able to walk through it to go in the direction that you need to go because the enemies that you just once killed are now back in a fort that you liberated. So you have to find a way to get around the fort unless you want to go through the fort and go through the enemies again. It's just frustrating. However, if you did choose to go and liberate that fort again, combat is probably the best part of the game. Once you finally hit a certain level, that is. Until you find certain gear or hit a certain level, the combat is probably going to be frustrating. It's not bad, but it's not fun either. Me personally, I found it really annoying in the beginning of the game. Now, again, as you level up and you get better, the combat gets better, but it's just not enough to hold my attention. It's just not enough to keep me wanting to play this game. And I keep hoping the next mission or the next story arc will pull me back in, but it just hasn't yet. Additionally, I believe stealth is one of the better parts of the game. In fact, I believe this is the best stealth that I've ever experienced in an Assassin's Creed to date in a while. I love it. But again, it's also one of those things that only gets better the higher your level and the more skills you unlock. It's actually pretty annoying at first. It can and probably will lead to frustration until you unlock better skills and better abilities that lead to a more smoother experience. If you really want this to feel like the old school Assassin's Creed, it absolutely can, but I would recommend turning on guaranteed assassinations so you have a lot more fun and it feels a lot better. However, stealth and combat isn't enough to save this game for me. It does get old fast. Some of these castles take way too long to liberate. It can take probably as long as an hour. I don't know, I've spent a while trying to liberate a castle using stealth without being seen. And honestly, I think ultimately that's why Yasuke was added here, because stealth can take too long and be too tedious, and it's not for everyone, and I think they wanted to appeal to everyone. The problem is while Yasuke excels in combat, he sucks in every other regard. So using him beyond liberating a castle feels pointless. So yeah, with all of that said, I'm stepping away. Maybe the game's just not for me, or maybe it just needs a few updates. I'll come back later when the map doesn't feel like a punishment, and the story remembers that it's supposed to make me care about it rather than putting me to sleep. And you know what's crazy? I loved Valhalla. I loved Odyssey. Most of the people that I've seen talk about this game or talk about Assassin's Creed in general did not like Valhalla, but I did. However, this is not the first Assassin's Creed game that I didn't finish. I also didn't finish AC Origins, and that plays similar to this game. Honestly, I think that's why I'm struggling to enjoy this game so much, and why I never went and finished AC Origins. I got about halfway through Origins and just stopped playing. I gave up on it because it felt like a chore, and I feel like I'm getting that same vibe here. I don't want to hate this game. I really tried to give it a chance. I gave it an honest chance, but I'm not having fun right now. So I'm going to take a break and go play something else that I actually can enjoy, and maybe I will come back, play, review, and talk about this game. But I'm not going to force myself to do it right now, and I'm not going to force myself to play something that I'm not enjoying. Anyway, that's my rant. If you're loving Shadows, I'm happy for you, but for now, I'm going to go play something else, something that I think that I'll enjoy a lot more. If you have any opinions on what I should play, or you want to talk about this game or anything at all, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to talk some more. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Hippo out.